Behind the glitz and glamour of classic Hollywood, there were secrets whispered in studios and velvet lounges, stories of forbidden love, hidden identities, and powerful women who redefined sensuality on their own terms. Let's unveil the most sensual lesbians of the golden era. Alla Nazimova was a fearless trailblazer in classic Hollywood, an actress, producer, and openly bisexual icon at a time when such openness was dangerous. She famously coined the term "sewing circle" as code for secret lesbian gatherings among actresses. Her lavish estate, the Garden of Alla, became a haven for Hollywood's queer elite, a place of freedom hidden behind glamour. Nazimova had rumored relationships with Jean Acker, Mercedes de Acosta, and Eva Le Gallienne, all prominent women of the time. Though the studios kept her image tightly controlled, Nazimova lived boldly, challenging the rules of gender, power, and sexuality. Her legacy lives on as one of the most sensual, radical figures of early Hollywood. Marlene Dietrich was one of classic Hollywood's most seductive and revolutionary figures. Known for her deep voice, sultry gaze, and androgynous style, she redefined femininity and sensuality on her own terms. Off-screen, Dietrich was just as bold, openly defying gender roles and unapologetically embracing her bisexuality in an era when most hid in fear. She wore tuxedos, kissed women on screen, and became an early symbol of queer glamour. Dietrich was rumored to have had affairs with some of the most iconic women of her time, including Greta Garbo, Mercedes de Acosta, and Tula Bankhead. Her confidence, mystery, and allure made her irresistible to both men and women. Though the Hollywood system tried to control her image, Dietrich remained untamed, stylishly subversive, and endlessly seductive. She wasn't just a star, she was a force. A true original whose sensual legacy still inspires today. Greta Garbo was the very embodiment of mystery and elegance in classic Hollywood. With her haunting beauty, intense eyes, and distant demeanor, she captivated audiences, and hid a complex personal life behind the curtain. Garbo was famously private, avoiding interviews, premieres, and the spotlight whenever possible. But behind closed doors, she lived boldly. Her rumored long-term love affair with playwright Mercedes de Acosta remains one of Hollywood's most talked-about secrets. Their letters, emotional, poetic, and intimate, reveal a deep, passionate bond. Garbo also shared close relationships with other women in Hollywood's hidden lesbian circles, though she never publicly labeled herself. Her refusal to conform, whether to fame, femininity, or society's expectations, made her all the more iconic. Greta Garbo didn't just perform on screen, she became a symbol of quiet rebellion and sensual autonomy. Even today, her mystique endures, timeless, enigmatic, and deeply seductive. Katharine Hepburn was one of Hollywood's most fearless and unconventional stars. With her sharp cheekbones, commanding voice, and famously masculine style, she shattered the expectations of how a leading lady should look and act. Refusing to play by anyone's rules, Hepburn wore trousers when other women wouldn't dare, and lived by her own code, fiercely private, unapologetically independent. Her 1935 role in Sylvia Scarlett, where she donned men's clothing and embraced gender ambiguity, stirred rumors about her sexuality that have never fully disappeared. Though she maintained a public romance with Spencer Tracy, many biographers suggest her deepest connections were with women. In an era of studio-enforced silence, Hepburn walked a fine line, never out, but never fully hiding. Her charisma, strength, and resistance to convention made her an icon not only of cinema, but of quiet rebellion. Katharine Hepburn redefined sensuality through power, elegance, and control. Barbara Stanwyck was the ultimate femme fatale, tough, magnetic, and fiercely independent. A star of both film noir and melodrama, she commanded the screen with raw emotion and a sharp edge that made her unforgettable. Off-screen, Stanwyck was just as enigmatic. She married twice, but both were rumored to be lavender marriages, a Hollywood term for relationships meant to hide one's true sexuality. Throughout her career, whispers surrounded her close, intense relationships with several women, particularly her longtime companion Helen Ferguson. Though she never publicly acknowledged these rumors, Stanwick lived life on her own terms, rejecting the traditional roles expected of women in her time. Her refusal to conform, both in her personal style and private life, made her a quiet icon in lesbian and queer history. Barbara Stanwyck wasn't just alluring, she was untouchable, powerful, and wrapped in a mystique that still lingers today. Agnes Morehead, best known as the enchanting Endora on Bewitched, was a mesmerizing presence both on and off the screen. With her striking voice and commanding aura, she captivated audiences, yet her personal life remained a closely guarded secret. Throughout Hollywood's golden era, whispers and speculation swirled about Morehead's sexuality. Though she never publicly confirmed any relationships with women, many historians and insiders believe she was part of the hidden queer community that thrived quietly behind closed doors. Morehead's close friendships with other actresses fueled rumors and lent her an air of mystery. Unlike many of her contemporaries, she chose discretion over publicity, keeping her private life shielded from the harsh spotlight of Hollywood gossip. Agnes Morehead's sensuality was subtle but undeniable, a blend of charm, wit, and enigma that continues to intrigue fans and historians alike. Grace Darman was a notable silent film actress known for her elegance and talent during Hollywood's early days. She was part of Alla Nazimova's famous Sewing Circle, a secret network of queer actresses supporting each other in an era of harsh judgment. Darman's relationship with fellow actress Jean Acker, who was briefly married to Rudolph Valentino, was an open secret in Hollywood's private circles. Their bond reflected a rare glimpse of queer love in a time when most had to hide behind carefully crafted public images. Grace balanced her film career with the challenges of living authentically in a conservative industry. Though she never fully embraced the spotlight outside of her work, Darman's sensuality and quiet rebellion contributed to the hidden history of Hollywood's queer women. Today, she is remembered not only for her performances but also for her courage and authenticity. Ona Mson was a talented actress best known for her role as Belle Waddling in Gone with the Wind. Behind her glamorous Hollywood image, Mson led a complex personal life shaped by secret passions and hidden desires. Though she was married to men publicly, Mson's romantic life included well-documented relationships with women, including prominent figures like Alla Nazimova and Mercedes de Acosta. Her connections to Hollywood's secret, Sewing Circle, linked her to a network of queer women navigating fame and societal expectations in silence. Mson's sensuality was often veiled by the era's restrictive norms, but those close to her knew the depth of her true self. Her story reflects the bittersweet reality faced by many actresses of the time, caught between public roles and private truths. Today, Ona Mson remains a symbol of Hollywood's hidden queer history, remembered for both her iconic performances and her courage to live authentically. Joan Crawford was one of classic Hollywood's most magnetic and powerful actresses. Known for her sultry screen presence and fierce determination, she dominated the silver screen with unforgettable roles. Off-screen, Crawford's life was filled with rumors and speculation about her romantic relationships. Whispers of affairs with iconic women like Marilyn Monroe and Barbara Stanwyck have fueled Hollywood gossip for decades. While she never publicly addressed these claims, many biographers and insiders suggest that Crawford's private life was far more complex than her carefully crafted public image. Her fierce independence and refusal to conform to societal norms made her a symbol of strength and sensuality. Crawford's legacy goes beyond her films. She represents the hidden stories of queer women in Hollywood who navigated fame and desire in secret. Even today, her enigmatic allure and rumored romances continue to captivate and inspire curiosity. Tula Bankhead was one of classic Hollywood's most boldly rebellious and sensual stars. Known for her loud laugh, razor-sharp wit, and magnetic presence, she lived life unapologetically, both on and off the stage. Unlike many of her contemporaries, Bankhead openly embraced her sexuality and was known for her affairs with women as well as men, refusing to hide who she was. Her relationships with actresses like Mercedes de Acosta and others were part of her colorful, unapologetic life. Tula's fearless attitude challenged the strict norms of her time, making her a pioneer in queer visibility long before it was safe to be so. Her wild spirit and sexual fluidity became legendary, inspiring generations of artists and fans alike. Tula Bankhead wasn't just a star, she was a symbol of freedom, sensuality, and bold self-expression. Jodie Foster is one of the most acclaimed and respected actresses in Hollywood, known for her intelligence, intensity, and undeniable talent. With 2 Academy Awards to her name, Foster's career began in childhood, but it was her powerful performances in films like The Silence of the Lambs, Taxi Driver, and Contact that solidified her legacy. For decades, she kept her personal life intensely private, navigating fame in an industry where queer identities were often suppressed or sensationalized. Though speculation about her sexuality followed her for years, Foster officially came out in 2013 during an emotional speech at the Golden Globes, thanking her longtime partner and confirming what many had long believed. It was a quiet but powerful declaration. Unlike the hidden lives of queer stars from the classic Hollywood era, Foster's journey represents a shift, a woman in control of her story, refusing to let Hollywood define her. She is now a proud lesbian icon and continues to break boundaries both in front of and behind the camera. Jodie Foster's courage, class, and talent make her one of the most quietly revolutionary figures in Hollywood's LGBTQ+ history. Ellen DeGeneres is a groundbreaking comedian, actress, and talk show host who forever changed the way Hollywood, and the world, views lesbian identity in the public eye. Rising to fame through her sharp wit and charm in stand-up comedy, Ellen became a household name with her hit sitcom Ellen in the 1990s. In a history-making moment in 1997, both she and her TV character came out as lesbian in an episode titled The Puppy Episode. It was bold, honest, and unprecedented on primetime television. The aftermath wasn't easy. Ellen faced backlash, lost opportunities, and was even blacklisted for a time. But her bravery paved the way for future generations of queer performers. She returned stronger than ever, launching The Ellen DeGeneres Show, which ran for 19 seasons and became one of the most successful daytime talk shows in history. Ellen's open lesbian identity, humor, and kindness helped normalize LGBTQ+ presence in mainstream media. She didn't just entertain, she educated and inspired. Her courage turned her into a global symbol of resilience, authenticity, and hope. Ellen DeGeneres is not only a lesbian icon, she's a cultural force who made being out and proud visible like never before.